One may not have thought of doing yoga to love, forgive, and accept. But at the same time, I'm sure you find this concept interesting. How many of you think that, yes, it would be nice if there could be yoga that can help us to love, forgive, and accept? Yes, okay. Show of hands. You can do it by reaction in the thing. You can put it in the chat. Or, yes, video on is the best. Yes, keeping the video on is the best, because it's nice to talk to actual people, real people, at least virtually, rather than just a picture. Yeah, thank you, Dipali. Thank you. Thanks so much. It's always nice to see people. At least some movement is there, so you're talking to humans. Very well. So I can see a good lot of people who think love, forgive, accept is a great thing, just like I do, because this is really what is expected of a practitioner of yoga, knowingly or unknowingly. I have come across so many of my friends and colleagues with whom I learned yoga, and so many others, because no sooner I finished learning, I started teaching also. So, and that's about 33 years ago. So I have met a hell lot of people in this field. And one complaint that they always have is that people around them, particularly those near and dear ones, the family or the work colleagues whom they interact with on daily basis, they say इतना योगा करती है फिर भी इतना गुस्सा आता है. यानी कि उनको गुस्सा बिल्कुल नहीं आना चाहिए, उनको इरिटेट बिल्कुल नहीं होना चाहिए, उनको हमेशा they should always be, calm, peaceful, quiet and tolerant. उनकी कोई दूसरे की जो भी कमी है उसको सबको टॉलरेट करना चाहिए. That is expected. Means you have to all the time be loving. You have to all the time be forgiving people their mistake and be understanding. And you have to accept them for what they are. Unknowingly, just ask yourself also, who are already into yoga or who are interested in knowing about yoga, as many of you have said that to me here, you will find that this is what is expected. And yoga does do this. So, nowhere will you find, आप लोगों में से कितने योगा टीचर्स हैं यहाँ पर? If you can indicate. I can see Preeti there, Chandan, who's also a yoga teacher. Then yes, Sangeeta is there. Who else? Jyoti, wow, welcome. Sumati, wow. And I think Deep Raval. Oh, Dipti, how nice to see you here. And there are many yoga practitioners. I can see Raju there. So a lot of you who are already into yoga, and you will identify with what I said. It is, without exception, this is expected of a yoga practitioner. So I thought, let me just introduce yoga directly with this context, which is what is unknowingly or knowingly we are expecting out of yoga. And yoga does serve this. In fact, first thing that happens with yoga is this. And that is what I'm here to share with you today. How does this happen? And what is this newfound technique that I have on my journey discovered and tweaked it a little to make use of it for this very purpose in yoga. So are you excited? Say excited in the chat if you are. Yes, foreign. Oh, nice, foreign. You are also there. How nice to see you. Dipti, I want to see you. Switch on your video, no? Is it not possible? And Anju, okay, very nice. Thank you. You have your video on. Wow. Aarti, I'm glad you could join. I know you had said less chance. And Sanjay also had said, don't know if I can join, but I'll register. I'm glad he could make time. Wow, thank you. So if so many of us are excited, let's go on. Fine. I will tell you the kind of people that we are here. All of us, I can see a big group of learned people over here. Each one expert in their own field. There's principals of school, teachers. There are a lot of yoga teachers, and I can see so many of my coach friends from STF and CTF. So happy. Yes, welcome, Maria. Hi, Gemini. So nice to see you. Great you've joined. And yes, Foreign, I'm seeing you also after, I think, how many years?
Madam Namaskar ji, good evening.
Good afternoon.
We met about 12 years.
12 years, yes. Imagine, उसके बाद बॉम्बे आए आप वापस नहीं आए?
नहीं आए मैडम.
नहीं आए, तभी आए थे लास्ट, हाँ? Yes.
Yes, madam.
चलो, आज हम योग का एक नया रूप सीखेंगे. ठीक है.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Welcome. I will share a little bit of my journey in this whole field of yoga and this new yoga technique that I'm going to share with you. That will help you to understand what we are really coming to. What is it that I'm bringing new to this platform for you? I started my yoga journey around 33 years ago, as I said, and it was actually by chance, though I was searching, but I didn't know I was searching for yoga or anything that yoga has to provide. But I just happened to be at the Yoga Institute Santa Cruz East, which is 2 days ago celebrated its 102nd birth foundation day. And I just liked the place. The friend that I had gone with, I asked her, what is this place and what happens here? Is there anything that I can do? I just like the vibes in the place. So I ended up joining a 7-day camp over there. And there was no turning back. After that initial course, I joined the teacher's training course. And after doing the teacher's training course, I said, this is like having camp was like having a sip of nectar. Then that teacher's training course was like having a cup of nectar. And I found there's an ocean of nectar here. So I said, I want to dive into it. And I continued. And I was very privileged in having the blessings of my preceptor, the dean and overall yogi, the living yogi over there. It's like an ashram. It's the house of the yoga family. And my preceptor, Dr. Jaydev, kind of took me into his hands. And under his guidance, I did a lot of projects. And every project was actually a project of self-development. On the face, we were doing something external, but we could not get any tips from him for doing the project forward till we were working on ourselves. And in that journey, he pointed out to me that I am an extremely emotional person, which I was not willing to take because I thought myself as a stoic, and that's what people believed of me. I started checking on myself, and I realized that long ago, while I was still in school or just moving from school to college, I had stopped my emotion. I was constantly suppressing them. And in trying to show to others like that, I actually started believing it myself, that I'm a stoic. When he pointed this out, that's not the person that you can take lightly. It's just not possible. He's such an truthful being. So I started checking on myself, and yes, I discovered very soon, and I realized that what I need to do is to become aware and to not allow these emotions to interfere, because they were interfering. How they were interfering? I'll tell you 2-3 things that were happening to me. I was constantly having chattering mind. I would be impulsive. I would react to small little things. And things that didn't suit me, I would just push them away. That means even people. In certain situation, you don't like certain behavior, no? You tend to push away. How many of you think you have been impulsive like this? Yes, there are so many of us. Very right. And impulsiveness comes from emotion, is what I now very clearly know. And I'm happy that I'm able to help out a lot of other people to get out of it. But at that point of time, then of course I started paying more attention to the yoga that I was doing. And I was very irregular with my asana and pranayama practice. I continue to remain regularly irregular with my asana pranayama practice. Somehow the life situation was such that even if once a week or twice a week, if I could do, I thought it was a big thing I'm doing. Now, in that kind of a situation, I still could help myself, because there's something in yoga which is meant for emotional balance. I studied that. I tried to put that into practice. I started teaching that also, which is called yama and niyama. And in this process, while I was designing various teaching methods for yama niyama, yes, I became the creator of the systematization of the methodology of teaching yoga at the subconscious level while I was doing some work at the Yoga Institute. And in that process, doctor also told me, find out what are the newer ways that people are using for managing emotions. And much later, not at that time, about 12 years ago, that happened only 12 years ago, I discovered something called emotional freedom technique. How many of you have heard of this emotional freedom technique? EFT or tapping, it is popularly called. If you can say yes, if you have heard in the chat, we'll know. There are how many people already? Oh, Asha has heard of it. Okay, Aarti has, very well. And I know Chandrasekhar knows about it. Yes, thank you. Asha Sharma also, Aarti Sharma, right. Raju has also heard of it, not heard of it, okay. And okay, Sanjay has also not heard of it. Okay, so some of you are aware of it. So this is devised from there. Now, oh, okay. What happened is, I found this technique having two major steps. One is acknowledging that something not so good is happening to you or you're doing. And second is to willfully change it to what you wanted, which is exactly what Maharshi Patanjali has suggested for practicing Yama Niyama. He says, when you are faced with the perverse, do the opposite. And I used to always find it very difficult. I actually used to argue with whomever was willing to listen to me. Say, like, one of the Yama is ahimsa. Ahimsa, faced with the perverse means you're faced with ahimsa. If you are faced with ahimsa, how can you think of love? अब किसी के ऊपर इतना गुस्सा आ रहा है कि उसको एक चांटा लगाऊं, how can I think of love at that point of time? I couldn't think. I just couldn't. And I found when I use this technique to apply it in this situation, I can change. My mind shifted in 2 minutes, because it takes only 2 minutes to do this. It takes 2 minutes to do this technique. Yes. In this 1 hour long webinar, I can very easily make you do this technique. So if we are seeing and doing, hearing and repeating, so 2 के बदले 4 मिनट लग जाएंगे, 5 लग जाएंगे. You can do it right away today. So get ready to experience it. How many of you want to really do the technique and see it for yourself? Okay, I can see some hands up. Okay, all of you. Those of you know also want to do it. Lalach hai. Yes, very true. So, ठीक है. Do you want to first experience the technique and then we talk and talk? The talking then will be more meaningful. Oh, welcome. Anita also has joined. Thank you. So, पहले करके देखना है या पहले जानना है? What do you want? Knowledge first or experience first? Write K for knowledge and E for experience in the chat. Let me see. Whichever vote is more will happen.
Experience first, definitely.
Okay. One person says don't want to waste time in writing. Very good. I like it.
Doing. Experience is the best teacher.
All yoga people are going to say that only. Let me ask the STF people also. What do you want to do? Know first or experience first? I can say, Acha, K first and then E, Deepali says. Okay, Chandrasekhar also wants knowledge. Dilvinder wants experience first. Okay, okay. I will now count the number of E's and E's. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, Gemini wants experience, experience, experience. She wants to vote 5 times. So all of you are voted out. Okay, very well. But let me go the yoga way. Sanjay is very clear, knowledge first. In fact, this is what I will have to tell you before I give you that experience, so that you can make that experience more meaningful for yourself. नहीं तो कभी कभी क्या होता है, we are so cognitive based people, cognitive knowledge based. We are so hung on knowledge. Yoga वालों को experience पहले चाहिए होता है. Gemini is a very matured person, so very obviously she also clearly understands yoga and knows that experience is the big thing. लेकिन हम खुद अपने दुश्मन बन जाते हैं कि जो मेरे समझ में नहीं आएगा वो मैं नहीं करूंगा या करूंगी. A lot of us are like that. So I don't want those people to lose out on. So I'll give you a little bit of knowledge piece before making experience, not the full knowledge part of it. In fact, you will have more questions to ask and more knowledge to gain after you experience it. But this much knowledge will help everybody. We live and learn in 3 domains. Namely, those who are already into education, like Aarti and Ranjan Mittal, Principal Mittal is here. You will know cognitive domain, psychomotor domain, and affective domain, right? We have grown up in this society, our culture, whether it's West or East or whichever place. I have found that we educate ourselves only in cognitive domain, thinking and knowing. हमें लगता है कि हमें जानकारी हो गई तो हम कर लेंगे, और बहुत कुछ होता भी है. जैसे आजकल लोग रामदेव बाबा का योगा टीवी पे देख लेते हैं, उनको जानकारी हो गई और अपने आप कर भी लेते हैं. अब उसमें नुकसान हो जाता है तो फिर योगा बुरा है, हाँ, और उसके अंदर हम डिसवेड भी हो जाते हैं. We leave it also. And if you really want to benefit, then you have to go to an experienced person who can transfer with the knowledge the experience to you, right? So cognitive, हम दिमाग से सोचकर ज्यादा काम करते हैं, दिमाग से जानकारी हासिल करके हम काम कर लेते हैं. लेकिन उसकी एक कमी बताऊं, एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल दूंगी तो आपको उसकी कमी नजर आ जाएगी. सिगरेट स्मोकिंग इज इंजूरियस टू हेल्थ. हर सिगरेट के पैकेट पे लिखा होता है, और आदमी जो खरीदता है उसको डेफिनेटली देखता है, उसको मालूम है, वो पढ़ता है, और उसके बावजूद भी उसका इस्तेमाल करता है. यानी कि हमारी जानकारी का हम क्या करते हैं, नकार देते हैं. तो जानकारी इतनी ही काबिल की है. हमने बहुत सारे, एक फ्रेज है, पढ़े लिखे, सॉरी टू यूज द वर्ड, गधे मिले हैं हम कहीं से. डिग्रियां बहुत है, खूब पढ़े लिखे हैं, लेकिन व्यवहार नहीं आता, तमीज से बात करना नहीं आता। उनको लगता है वो सही कह रहे हैं। मैं भी ऐसी थी, ब्लंट। संजय कहेंगे अभी भी कम नहीं है, लेकिन मैं बहुत ज्यादा थी। अभी मैं बहुत कम हो गई हूँ। आई कांट सी वंदना, आर यू देयर? Yes, she will also agree with that. So that's how I was. But becoming aware of the psychomotor domain and the affective domain helped me to change that about myself. और हमने अपनी धारणा बना रखी है अपने आप के बारे में कि मैं ऐसा हूं और मैं ऐसी हूं, जो कि दुनिया वाले हमेशा मानते नहीं है। आप जो अपने आप को समझते हो और लोग जो आपके बारे में सोचते समझते हैं, उसमें अंतर होता है। Lot of time people think of you differently than what you are, right? So that is one cognitive domain. Second, psychomotor domain, the action, the behavior. कि आप व्यवहार कैसा करते हो। हमने कई बार देखा है, सुना है, कथनी और करनी में फर्क। हमें दूसरों का नजर आता है कि उसने कहा तो ऐसा था लेकिन किया ऐसा। That person is saying one should be polite, and look at that person's behavior, how impolite he or she is. Often face this, and it is rampant, and so often even accepted by people around कि उसने कहा तो यह है लेकिन मालूम है वो करेगा नहीं, वो करेगा तो ऐसा ही। कथनी और करनी में फर्क इसलिए होता है क्योंकि जो जानते हैं, जो समझते हैं, we can't always integrate and translate it into our physical actions. थोड़ा disintegration है, एक कुछ ब्लॉक है। दिमाग से तो हमको लगता है कि हाँ हमें कोचिंग करना है। नीलू इज हियर, आई कैन सी। नीलू, तेरी वजह से मेरे को ये याद आया, डोंट माइंड, आई लेटर ऑन लेट यू शेयर दिस आल्सो, कि करना है, मुझे मालूम है ये मेरे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है। ये प्रोग्राम बनाना है, ये मुझे बुक लिखनी है, लेकिन कर नहीं पा रहे। और कैसे करना है वो भी 50 बार सुन चुके हैं। बेचारे जेमिनी ने उस दिन जब हमारे को इतना सब बताया कि तुम ब्लॉग करो, स्टोरी अपना बनाओ, ये करो, पहली बार तो हम नहीं सुन रहे थे। पहले भी कितनी बार हमें लोगों ने बता दिया है कैसे करना है, वो भी हमारे पास में सारा मटेरियल, फिर भी हम कर नहीं पा रहे हैं। I'll tell you where the block is in this third domain, the affective domain. इंटेलिजेंस को हमने थोड़ा एडुकेट किया है। We have gone to school, we have gone to college, we have learned language, we have learned mathematics, and we have learned some science and art and everything. हमने थोड़ा बहुत उसको एडुकेट किया है। साइकोमोटर भी हम हर कोई अभी न्यू ईयर रेजोल्यूशंस बनाएंगे, हर कोई एक्सरसाइज के ऊपर, वॉक के ऊपर, हेल्थ के ऊपर, सही खाना पीना है, सही एक्शन करना है, लोगों को ज्यादा चिढ़ाना नहीं है, उनको तकलीफ नहीं देना है, हर्टिंग कम करना है। ऑल अवर एक्शंस का हम रेजोल्यूशंस बनाएंगे बिकॉज वी अंडरस्टैंड सर्टेन अमाउंट ऑफ, वी आर एडुकेटेड इन साइकोमोटर डोमेन। ये तीसरा वाला जो है ना, अफेक्टिव डोमेन, जो कि हमारे ऊपर राज करता है, द फीलिंग डोमेन, हमारा इमोशंस, जो कि हमेशा जाने अनजाने हमारे को पूछे बिना हमारे ऊपर से जो अधिकार है वो हड़प लेता है। इट जस्ट कैप्चर्स यू। हमने सोचा था कि ऐसा करेंगे लेकिन ऐसा हो गया। हु डिड इट? दिस अनएडुकेटेड अफेक्टिव डोमेन। कहीं किसी स्कूल में, कॉलेज में या हमारी कोचिंग में हमें इमोशनल मैनेजमेंट नहीं कहूंगी, इमोशनल एजुकेशन दिया जाता है? मुझे तो कहीं नहीं मिला। लेकिन हमने देखा है कि हम जब भी डिसीजन लेते हैं, सब डेटा कलेक्ट करते हैं, सब अच्छे से एनालाइज करते हैं। बहुत कम लोग होते हैं जो उस डेटा के बेसिस के ऊपर डिसीजन लेते हैं। वो सारा डेटा इकट्ठा करने के बाद में भी डिसीजन नहीं, लेकिन मुझे ये अच्छा लगता है, लाइक्स और डिसलाइक्स के ऊपर डिसीजन हो जाता है और हम उसी को कार्यान्वित करने की कोशिश करते हैं। वी ट्राई टू एक्ट ऑन दैट काइंड ऑफ अ डिसीजन टेकन बाय द इमोशंस एंड वी वंडर व्हाई आर वी नॉट सक्सीडिंग। क्यों? क्योंकि तुमने जो डेटा कलेक्ट किया था उसके अनुरूप एक्शन लेने के लिए, whatever data you collected, to take action in accordance to that, you had to have this affective domain also in tune, which is not educated. वो जंगली बंदर है, पलट पलट मन और. One moment it says something, at another moment it says another thing. How many of you would say that you think the same thing, means the feel the same way, sorry, you feel the same way as you are feeling in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, till you go to bed at night? If you really feel the same way at all times, you write same in the chat, and if you find that your feeling changes from time to time without you having to do anything about it, then you write not same, different times, right? It changes, not the same, not the same, not the same. So there's not even one person saying, yeah, mind is a monkey. Very true. और इस monkey को कैसे पाला जाए? This is what this new yoga technique is about. With love, with forgiveness, and with acceptance, it can actually be tamed. You can tame this monkey and fairly steady throughout. Wow, thank you, Asha. So we can consciously keep this monkey under our check at our will. How to do that? Ab you are ready for the experience. There are a couple of people before you experience whom I would like to speak to all of you present here, and let them say what is it that they have experienced as a result of doing this technique. I can see Vandana. Can you switch on? Thank you, Vandana, for switching on your video.
Hi.
May I call upon you? Hi. Vandana has, I think let Vandana only introduce herself first. Can you tell a little bit about yourself? Vandana, nice background. I love the sea. I love that sea.
Thank you.
Wow, I love it.
I kept that background specially for your meeting.
Wow. Yeah, okay, yes, you know that I love the water.
Right.
Thanks. Yeah, tell us about yourself and your journey.
This is Vandana here, and I know Suchi well. I call her Suchi because I know her for the last 30 years. Yeah, I know Suchitra for the last 30 years, and like her, even I also have a yoga background, and I teach people of all ages and from across the globe. Because I know her for so many years, I know what a transformation Suchi has gone through. I know what she was earlier, and I know what she is right now. And her journey is truly transformative, and it is very impressive. And this is exactly why I thought that if this has transformed Suchitra, then even I have some hope. Yeah, I mean, under the garb of yoga, everyone wants to think, oh, we have a halo around our head, but no one has a halo around the head. And it was actually Suchitra's EFT technique, and what she's going to be calling it, introducing it later on, that will become quite clear. It was this which I started practicing, that it was really an unpeeling of the onion, layer by layer by layer was getting uncovered and unearthed. And just as you peel an onion, you know, there are tears, but only here there were tears of joy because you are discovering yourself. You are understanding yourself at a slightly deeper level. And that was what got me attracted to this particular technique. Just to give you a little example, ever since I can remember, and this realization came only recently, that I have been carrying this emotion of guilt in my head for no rhyme or reason. Anything that happens, someone says, I would immediately own that particular mistake, or I would start thinking that I'm sure this person has raised his voice because of something I have done. Or if I get a call, I would start thinking that I'm sure that call is because I said this, I did that. And each time it was revealed that it had nothing to do with me. The call and that conversation had really nothing to do with me. And I realized that it went it happened because it went right to the time when I was born. And it was a very, very troubled birth that my mother had because of me. And I think it's just those old associations of carrying the guilt that it was because of me that my mother was suffering for such a long time. And it came up not only because of Suchitra's technique, it got reinforced because of what I did with her. But it was many conversations that I had with my mother and our mentor, mine and Suchitra's mentor, Dr. Jaydev, also said a few things in the past. And I just got all this connected together. And all this whole experience together made me realize that our emotions that we carry in our head, which are an internal experience for us, but they really have no reality. There is no you cannot depend on those emotions because they don't have an external reality. It's only in our own mind, and that is what the guilt was doing to me. So for me, that was the biggest breakthrough of my life, because every now and then I would go through that emotion unnecessarily. And this was actually one of the hardest things for me to overcome. And I can give you many other examples, but I would just like to say that this is something that everyone needs to practice consistently to get some result. And if you are really interested in knowing yourself better, then this is a very direct technique. So
Thank
I
you.
hope that, yeah.
Yes, let's give a big hand to Vandana. Thank you for sharing so intense issue that you had, I know.
Yeah.
So this is one big example. As Vandana said that she has many other things that she has. She had started doing this about a year ago and was not, that time she'd overcome whatever she was working with. And then this continued, which happens with yoga, no? All our resolutions, जो एक minimum थोड़ा जो overcome करना होता है, that one difficulty is overcome and we leave it. But now if you tell Vandana कि एक दिन ये मत कर, तो वो बोलेगी sorry, और कुछ छोड़ दूंगी, ये तो जरूर करूंगी. She practices it daily. और वो daily practice करने वाली, I have another one over here, Sumati. I will not call her to speak. She may have to leave at any moment of time in between. I know she has certain issues to attend to today, more important. But she's another one. बोलती है कि रात को सोने से पहले by default अब तो हो जाता है. Today's tension, I have to remove it today itself, not go to bed with it. So that is the kind of commitment that one has. And because she says it is, हम दिन में कचरा तो इकट्ठा होता ही है ना. आपने सुबह सुबह घर को झाड़ पोंछ के साफ किया होगा, शाम तक धूल बैठेगी ही ना, कल वापस नहीं करोगे. यदि साफ सुथरा चाहिए तो कल फिर से झाड़ना ही पड़ेगा. So this technique is like that. It is यहाँ का झाड़ पोंछ खाली दिवाली पे नहीं करने की होती है, ये हर रोज करना होता है, क्योंकि डेली लाइफ हम रोज जी रहे हैं ना. We are living every day and we are collecting something or the other. Yes, so this was one kind of an experience. May I call upon Shekhar? You heard one yoga person, and now you can hear one STF person also.
Yes, ma'am.
Shekhar, please, if you can share your experience with me.
Okay, so my name is Chandrasekhar Sani, and I met Suchitra ma'am at CTF. And while discussing, she told about VCT, and I've been workshop junkie. Basically, I go to every workshop possible. So I had gone to many yoga programs. I had done recently an EFT also. But I think 4 months back, or maybe 5 months back, we started with the VCT. And it was in Feb, I think. I had unbearable pain in my shoulder, my back, and my knees. And I had to go to a physiotherapist. After 1 month of physiotherapy, I got a little better, but then Corona happened and I had to stop. And 2 months after that, the pain returned. And lucky for me that we started with VCT after that. And it's been 4 months and I'm completely over with my pain, at least the shoulder pain. So that is physical aspect of VCT. That, I mean, you have heard of what happens to the mental state, and this is what happens physically. So I think apart from that, I mean, now I used to get angry very fast, but I now can see that I'm getting angry, and I know that I can turn back from the point I want to. So that's probably another thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's what you saw in the cognitive domain. There can be a transformation. In the psychomotor domain, there can be transformation. He shared the physical change also, as well as the behavioral change. He says, I've overcome a lot of my procrastination. He also feels that now he is, मालूम तो सब है, सीखा हमने सारा है, लेकिन उसको implement करने के लिए जो बाधाएं that are coming from within you is what we are all working at overcoming. Because Vandana was sharing something so much more deeper. I'll tell you one more thing about Vandana. In this lockdown, she discontinued her yoga classes क्योंकि online की आदत नहीं ना, हम तो पुराने teachers हैं, वो physically करना आता है. She's going to start her online yoga classes also now. And whatever obstacle is coming in the way, she's found a way. One very important thing that this does is, यहाँ पर जो mind में obstacles होते हैं ना, not only that you are able to shed that, when that is shed, what is the way out? Solutions असल में हमारे सामने होते हैं, but we are not able to see that solution. In this week, Vandana and I are going to complete a course where we are learning how to go about selling, and our guru is also here. Thank you, Sanjay. Yes. The door opened for both of us when we were willing to change. And that willingness to change came by dropping this emotional block, which both Vandana and I used to share. So, what more than knowing this kind of a technique, having to put it all so much of high about this technique, let me show you how simple it is, how very simple it is, and such big effects it can have. Okay, so अभी ज़्यादा नहीं बोलूँगी, अभी पहले knowledge काफी हो गया, जिन लोग को थोड़ा knowledge चाहिए था वो भी बता दिया, अब हम थोड़ा सा experience कर लेते हैं. Agreed? All of you ready? Yes. To help me, couple of you will need to keep yourself unmuted so that I get the rhythm, because the technique is very simple in the sense, do as I do, say as I say. But कितना बोलना है और कितना करना है, उसके लिए थोड़ा सा introduction देना पड़ेगा मुझे. So just hear me out that way. What we're going to do is tap on different parts of the body. I will describe the parts as well as I will show you. Okay. So if you keep your videos on, I will be able to help check out. Just, you can't really go wrong in this, but still, just in case, it's better. So that's one thing. these points also, because I will be describing the points, which you don't have to repeat the description of the point, but you will repeat one sentence. Okay, all of you, you will be saying this one sentence whenever I'm saying it. But let me give you the words of the sentence. The most beautiful thing to say: I deeply and completely love, forgive, and accept myself. Shekhar, please write it in the chat now, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I deeply and completely love, forgive, and accept myself. This is the key sentence of this technique. Are we all comfortable with this? If there is anybody who find this statement not comfortable, please, please, please definitely tell me so that I can take care of you. Yeah, that is the sentence. Chandrasekhar has already put it in the chat. Anybody uncomfortable saying any of these words? I deeply and completely love, forgive, and accept myself. You're comfortable with it?
Yeah, no issues.
Very well.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, all of you. Okay, then we are all ready for it. Okay, one or two more things. This point on the side of the palm, your palm, on the outer edge of your palm, I will refer to this point as karate chop point. Using the tips of the first two fingers, whichever hand, rhythmically tap here. Yeah, correct. Yeah, get into a rhythm. This is the rhythm which is suitable. Okay, all of you. Very good. Excellent. Okay, everyone got it right. Perfect. Manisha, Ritu, Gemini, if I can see you, let me at least see that you got the point right. Your video is off, so I don't know. Oh, Payal has joined. Thank you, Payal.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, very well. Good. Yes.
Do let me know when I have to.
Yes, I will.
speak.
I will. Soon after
Thank
this.
you. All right, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So, yes, correct. Now,
Chitra ji, can you
Uh,
just give me 2 minutes? Just 2 minutes. There is somebody, Miss Bhavna. She also wants to join. I'm just sharing your link
yeah,
with
yeah.
her.
Let her join in.
She will
Okay.
join right
Yeah,
away.
Yeah. Fine. So now we will be tapping. I'll just show you what are the points so that in between the tapping, you don't have to wonder कि ये कहाँ देख रहे हैं, कहाँ नहीं देख रहे हैं. Okay. So this is one point we will begin with. Then this is the next point. Beginning of the eyebrows. When I say this is the point. Okay. The next point is end of the eyes, not the temples, but end of the eyes. Okay. Yeah, there's a difference. Temples are a little behind and up. End of the eyes means end of the eyes. Then below the eyes, edge of the cheekbone. Right. Then below the nose. Yeah. And then this chin groove, this little groove below in the chin, that's the next point. Then there are these two bones jutting out in the collar. Below that. Not on the bone, just below the bone. Very well. Next point is not the armpit, but below the armpit. Okay. You can do it on both the sides. You can do it on one side, whichever way. Then in front, below the bust, yeah, on the lower ribs in front, not on the side, in front. Okay. I'll refer to that point as lower ribs. Next are 4 points on your fingers. Thumb, edge of the thumb, where the nail and the skin meets on the side. Yeah, very right. Similar point on the forefinger. Yes, you all are getting it so right. I don't have to correct anybody. How nice. Very right. Then middle finger, similar point. And then we leave the ring finger and go to the little finger. Okay. So this will make it a little more easier to do. Now we are going to start for the experience. One very important thing. How will you know whether this technique is working for you? Wow, thank you. Thank you so much, Shekhar. You're so helpful. Yes, he has put down the description of all the points in the proper sequence in the chat. That's what helps an experienced STF buddy.
Oh, right.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what our MM is supposed to be all about. Now, the measurement. Let's measure what is the, we're talking about emotions, we said, begin with, and then we will integrate all the three. But just now, because we are beginning, so it will have to be first educating the uneducated. Otherwise, we cannot integrate. Okay? And emotions are directly connected with breathing. We have all observed that our breathing is shallow and jerky and all that when we are irritated, angry, disrupted in our thinking, and or untoward something has happened which we don't like. All of us have observed? Yes? Yes, I can see the heads nodding. Yes, thank you. So, how is your breathing when you are happy, quiet, calm, or you've done a nice meditation, or been out in nature, peaceful, had a good walk? Yes, we are
Slow and
more
rhythmic.
peaceful, quiet, slow breathing, smooth
Slow
breathing.
and deep.
Right. So your best breath, you know how it is. Whatever you can remember just now, doesn't matter, later on you can change the scale. Just now, whatever you can remember is your best breath. Give it 10. Give it a number 10. And keeping that best breath in mind as number 10, what you're breathing for now, how much is the number that you can give it? Is it your best just now? Or is it any less? How much less? 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 5, 4. It could be 1, 2, 3, no problem. It can't be 0 because we're all alive. Yes. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what number do you give your breath just now? Yeah, it's important that we write it in the chat here, our number, so that we can compare at the end. Because by the time you finish this technique, don't expect yourself, I don't want your mind to be there trying to remember your number. I want your total involvement to really experience it. So just put your number in the chat so you can compare later on. Yes? Everyone, please put your number for your breath, how it is just now, in the chat. So it's easy to compare them. Very well. Okay. Good, good. Please put it there. All right. So now we begin. Would the statement be correct? I don't see anyone putting 10 on 10. Even that happens sometimes because the best that you know is 10 on 10 just now. So that's possible. We can all safely make a statement because honesty is one very important thing in this technique. You have to be ruthlessly honest with yourself. Being that, that's how a lot of revelations and self-awareness happens. It won't be wrong to say that I am not breathing very well. Correct? Because your best is not it just now. So we will make that as an acknowledgement statement. Remember, I told you there are two parts to this. One part, we acknowledge what is not good, and then we change it to what we want it. Okay? So the first part, we will acknowledge. Do as I do, say as I say. Ready? Karate chop point, begin tapping using the tips of the first two fingers. And now repeat after me. Even though I'm not breathing very well.
Even though I'm not breathing very well,
I deeply and completely
deeply and completely
love,
love,
forgive,
forgive,
and accept myself.
And
and accept myself.
Even though
Even though
I'm not breathing very well.
I'm not
I'm not
breathing,
breathing very well,
I deeply and completely
I deeply
love,
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 forgive,
forgive,
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
accept myself.
Even though
Even though
Even though
I'm not breathing very well.
I'm not
I'm not breathing very well,
I deeply and completely
deeply and
Completely and completely.
love,
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 forgive,
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 and accept myself.
and accept
and
myself.
accept myself.
Now tap the beginning of eyebrow point using the tips of the first two fingers, not breathing very well.
Not breathing very well.
Good. Tap at the end of the eyes and repeat, not breathing very well.
Not breathing
Not
very
breathing
well.
very well.
Tap below the eyes, not breathing very well.
Not breathing well.
Not breathing very well.
Tap below the nose and say, not breathing very well.
Not breathing.
Not breathing very well.
Tap in the chin groove and say, not breathing very well.
Not breathing.
Not breathing very well.
Below the collarbone, tap and say, not breathing very well.
Not breathing.
Not breathing very well.
Tap below the armpits and say, not breathing very well.
Not breathing very well.
Tap on the lower ribs and say, not breathing very well.
Not breathing very well.
Tap the junction of nail and skin on the side of the thumb and say, not breathing very well.
Not breathing very well.
Tap similar point on the forefinger and say, not breathing very well.
Not
Not
breathing.
breathing very well.
Tap similar point on middle finger and say, not breathing very well.
Not breathing.
Not breathing very well.
Tap similar point on the little finger and say, not breathing very well.
Not breathing very well.
Tap the karate chop and say, still,
Still,
So,
I deeply and completely
deeply and
I
completely
deeply and completely
love,
love,
forgive,
forgive
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
I choose to
I choose to
I choose to
breathe slow,
breathe
breathe
slow,
slow,
smooth,
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 and long.
and long.
And I deeply and completely
And I deeply and completely
love,
love,
forgive,
forgive,
forgive
and accept myself.
and
myself.
accept myself.
I choose to breathe
I choose to
Choose to breathe
slow,
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 smooth,
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 and long.
and
And
long.
I deeply and completely
I deeply and completely
love,
love,
forgive,
forgive,
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
I choose to breathe
I choose to
Choose to breathe
slow,
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 smooth,
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 and long.
and long.
and long.
And I deeply and completely
And I deeply and completely
love,
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 forgive,
forgive,
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
Now tap the beginning of eyebrow point, slow breath.
slow,
Tap the end of eye point and say smooth breath.
smooth breath,
Breath,
Tap the point below the eyes and say long breath.
long
breath,
Tap below the nose and say slow breath.
slow breath,
Chin groove, tap and say smooth breath.
smooth breath,
smooth breath,
Tap the point below the collarbone and say long breath.
long breath,
Tap below the armpit, slow breath.
slow breath,
On the lower ribs, smooth breath.
smooth breath,
Thumbnail, long breath.
long breath,
long breath,
Forefinger, slow breath.
slow breath,
Middle finger, smooth breath.
smooth breath,
smooth breath,
Little finger, long breath.
long breath,
long breath,
Karate chop. And I deeply and completely
and I
and
deeply
deeply and completely
love,
love,
forgive,
forgive
forgive,
and accept myself.
and accept
and accept myself.
Now, on the tender spot here, means where you put a badge, a brooch, a pin, massage that point in rotational motion with your first two fingers as you take a deep breath in.
Right or left side?
Left side is better, but whatever is comfortable. Massage in rotational motion as you take a deep breath in. Gently press and hold the point as you breathe out long from the mouth. Having breathed out long, your breathing again and see how many points, what number would you give your breath now? And write it in the chat and compare with your previous number that you have written.
What is yours? First one.
Okay.
What is yours? First one.
Wow, 9, 10. Gemini.
You didn't give the number.
Yes, you can write comparison if you remember the earlier one. Otherwise, roll up and check and see what was your earlier number and what's the new
Then
number.
you can go. Don't waste your time. Then you can.
Because I'm not into that.
Wow, Payal is great. I think we will hear from you now, Payal. Let's see. What was so great? Gemini moves from 5 to 7, she says. Zoya, Rudra, Shweta, that is amazing. How nice. How very nice. So, kya lagta hai? The shift from a lower number to a higher number means a positive mood set, right? And really
Yes.
speaking, when we learn this, we repeat it till we have reached 10 on 10. Yes, if the same thing you repeat
for
again.
me, yeah, I think, you know, what worked the best was from last time to this time. I think this time I had closed my eyes and I was like really feeling
In it,
each and every word which I was saying, and like, you know, feeling the points where I was pressing. So it had even better effect.
Being in the present always helps.
Nothing. I was like in a comfortable state, all fine, but still I just felt like my breathing was like 6 to 7. But I could feel the shift. Very surprising. Very surprising. I mean, I'm in the same state otherwise. But yes, you know, physiologically something has changed. So, and also I think the more we are open to it, with more comfort, we grasp it, and you know, we let it happen instead of forcing and, you know, visualizing or like, you know, analyzing rather. It's better to just go with the flow. The effect comes better. I can feel the difference from the first session to now.
Wow. Yes.
Great.
Oh, I
Thank
think
you.
beautiful points.
So Chitra, I want
Yeah.
to understand when
Yes,
question,
Dipali.
when you ask the question, how's your breath at the moment? To give you the understanding of how the breath was, of course, a bit ambiguous, but the fact is that what was the pace and how was one feeling in terms of the energy and the flow? So I was at about 6 to 7 if I was to somewhere, you know, put it on a scale of 10. But after what you made us do and got a little centered and did whatever one did, I certainly the pace had increased in terms of the flow and it had become a little bit more smoother, and I probably shifted from 6 to 7 to about 9 to 10. So there was something definitely that shifted and energized me a little bit. So I don't know what it is.
Yeah, same thing. That's what Dipali I'm saying. It's exactly the same thing. It shifted. You know what? I think you should also maybe you should contact the Ayush Ministry and put it for the COVID treatment.
It is.
I could see the difference in the breathing.
You are
I'm telling
actually
there
right.
is.
You are actually right, because in fact there is this quite thing that's going on about vibrations. Yes, a certain frequency at which each one of us vibrate. And the coronavirus vibrates at a certain frequency. So anybody having that low frequency that it has, it catches on very easily. And we keep moving our levels. You all accept it, that our feeling from the morning to afternoon to evening is not the same. There are times when we are low. There are times when we are high. With this technique, you can keep yourself, come back to high and not remain at low at any time. We talk about states when we do a personality test. All the CGF, STF people understand that. And how to come to the higher state. This is the way. In fact, I think Shekhar again can probably share. We have worked together with Incredible You on this. And that is the technique we use, right, Shekhar?
That's right.
He
And
says,
if
share,
you
no?
No, we all know that we repeat our E codes and all that, right? And if you do it with VCT, I mean, you can't imagine the effect.
The N codes to E code.
Superb.
The trick, the real trick.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, can I share?
Proven to be effective. Yes, Payal.
Yeah.
Before Payal goes away, I want her to share her experience with VCT. Please, Payal.
So I am on this my journey of self-improvement, at least from the time I've realized since the past 8-9 years. And I have been into meditation, that is my breath meditation, and into Buddhist chanting, and have done several other philosophy courses and all that. So I definitely have progressed in that journey, but somewhere something was amiss. So what used to happen was with this, the philosophies and chanting and meditation, I always had a smile on my face. It was always there, but internally that smile was not there. Internally there was some bad feeling within all the time. You know, it was not. I was not fully in control of, let's say, my emotions. And then I did this during the lockdown. Ma'am offered this 1 month VCT course. And I didn't know then that this was going to change my life considerably. And I did that 1 month VCT course, and I realized that I can actually be in charge of my emotions. I actually have the technique to get back myself, maybe even 100 times in a day, get back to a sense of balance, or a little more. As today, like when I was doing what ma'am made us do, the breath work, I not only moved from 7 to 9, but I also, the bad feeling in my heart chakra was replaced by a very good feeling, a very good positive feeling. So this technique, before that, yes, I was a person trying to be equanimous and all that, but the within change that I needed, I was looking for that, which of course I had not realized. I got it through this technique, that I can be in charge of my emotions. And because that is a big breakthrough for a person like me who's quite sensitive. I put it the other way around, rather oversensitive to everything, except not realizing that that is not good for your own growth, and became more sensitive towards my growth. So this technique has empowered me a lot. Yes, still a lot of work in progress, but having said that, I know I can now control my emotions, and that's a big takeaway for me. And thank you so much, Suchitra ma'am, especially when you do those one-on-one sessions with her. The positivity that she radiates, and the fearlessness, mainly the courage that you can handle anything. So when I'm in any difficult position, I think of her. Oh, okay, she's there, and she will tell me to do this now. So let me start doing that. So yeah, ma'am, thank you so much for this amazing thing.
Payal,
Thank you
you
so
didn't introduce yourself. If I may ask you to introduce yourself, tell a little bit
So
about
I am Payal
yourself.
Kothari. I am an advocate and a solicitor. I practice. I practice reality and litigation and inheritance laws. And as a lawyer also, this has professionally also empowered me a lot.
That you haven't shared with me. How nice. I'll talk to you again.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We'll
Very
talk
well.
about it.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Payal. Yes,
Not at all.
definitely. Wow.
It's
Thank
the
you,
other
Dipali.
way around. It's the other way around, ma'am.
You are
Thank you so
influencing
much.
so many others into this ambit of yours. She was like this, having learned. नहीं मैम ये तो सबको सिखाना चाहिए, ये तो स्कूलों में डाल देना चाहिए, you know. उसको ऐसे लगा पता नहीं क्या मेरे को खान मिल गई कि किस किस को बता दूं मैं. तो मैंने कहा पहले तो कर ले.
Yes, but ma'am,
Practically
it's
like that.
true.
So I had to call her to share. There was no way. I had to give her chance to influence others with her own personal experience. And because of you, one of your friend, Mona, has joined the course.
Yes, 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 yes.
You
It asked
got
me.
such a big
She had asked.
influence.
Yes, I told her, please go ahead. आंखें बंद करके join कर लो बस.
Wow,
Just
and
do
she
it.
really did that. She believed you.
Yeah, yeah. She.
And me equally.
Yes,
Thank you.
more so you, ma'am. It's your technique, the way you are doing it, the way you
Technique
are
is not mine.
making us so empowered, feel so empowered.
Yes.
That is the most important thing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Not
much.
at all, ma'am.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
to you. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
I have one more person here who is got lot to share, and still she will say I can't share everything because there's little time. Otherwise, the whole webinar she will take. So I'll call upon Jyoti. Can you unmute yourself and please share your experience with vritti-changing technique, EFT, whichever way you want to call it.
Namaste everyone. My name is Jyoti Irani. I am a yoga practitioner, a yoga teacher, and now with ma'am's blessing, I can say I am a counselor. And it's thanks to this unique technique. But before I get into the technique, just a little background about how it all started. I would like to share that with you. So I have had a corporate career of about say 22 years, and I always wanted things to be perfect. So it was basically handling regulatory and risk audit issues. So I wanted things to be right always. But even after spending 22 years, there was a void. I was just missing something. So I left the corporate, and then I started my yogic journey in 2016. I met Suchitra ma'am at the Yoga Institute. She was my Sankhya teacher. And at that point of time, the yogic concepts, what Suchitra ma'am was teaching was just not making sense to me. And even after completing my TTC, I heard one day that Suchitra ma'am is holding a 2-day workshop. And at that point of time, it was called the Emotional Freedom Technique Workshop. So I said, just let me, because I used to keep getting disturbed. I was an emotional fool at that time. Little things would just disturb me. So I thought, but I always had this connection with her. Maybe she's the one. And because it was ma'am's workshop, I went for that 2-day course. And from there, my journey started. So what ma'am, when I attended that workshop, it removed, like today ma'am mentioned, we have those 3 domains. So I can say it very bluntly now that my effective domain was absolutely zero, because what was there within was only garbage, I can say. And it was ma'am, she removed layer by layer all that clutter which I was carrying, that so much
I
of
didn't do
baggage
it.
which
I only showed you. You did it.
But ma'am, it's okay. So
Own it.
she helped me removing that. Yeah, she helped me removing that.
I agree.
Once I could do that, uh, then my journey of self growth started. And today I can say, and there was this blockage. I had so many blockages. Even like after finishing my TTC, I was reluctant to start or teach yoga and charge money for that, because somewhere I could not see my own worth, my own value. I was undermining myself all along because of all this baggage which I was creating. But now I can see myself, the potential which I carry within me. I feel very much empowered because she's given me this technique. But this technique, one thing which I would like to share, it will not work if you have the slightest of doubt. Sharing my own example again, I had left it in between. And with God's grace, one day it was her own video, one of the videos which she shared, and for some reason I came back, and now I make it a point that I go for these weekly practice sessions, and these practice sessions help me be connected with ma'am, with the technique, and as it has just come into my being. So every time I have a slightest issue, the first thing which comes to my mind is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I have started valuing myself, and once I'm respecting myself, then I can take charge of anything. But all the time, what we keep doing is we are trying to always change others and, undermining our own potentials. So that's how my journey has been. So I will thank you, ma'am, for this blessing, for giving us this technique. And also, having this faith. When we started, we were very few. So she did not lose her vision. So I'm so grateful to her for that. She had this conviction. She wanted to, she knew the power of this. Now I'm experiencing and I'm sharing it with you all. But this really works because it works at a mind level. It works at our thoughts. And that's why now when she's calling it vritti-changing, that's the right technique, how it should be called. It actually works on the mind. It changes the mindset. And once we are sorted here, everything else is taken care of. So that's all from me, Ivan. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. Yes, let's give her a good hand. Yes, I think before I talk any further, Gyan na deke, I'll invite questions. So feel free, just unmute yourself. I can see Deepa already putting up her hand. Deepa, for a long time you've been putting up your hand. Please unmute yourself and say what you want to say. And here I see Manisha asking, can you please send that sentence again? I lost previous chat. That is for Chandrasekhar.
Yeah, ma'am, I'll do that.
Thank you.
I have already put the question, Suchitra.
Okay,
How many
you
times
have?
in a day we need to do it?
Okay.
And is a particular time, fixed time, or any time we can do it?
That is the best convenience, and unlike yoga it is. You can do it any number of times. You can do it any time of the day. You can do it on full stomach. You can do it on empty stomach. You can do it while sleeping. You can do it while walking. You can do it while talking. You can tell me, when do you want to do?
And do I change the hand from right to left, or
Suit yourself, whatever is convenient to you.
Wonderful.
What more liberation?
Now, there's one
Too
addition
many
there.
liberations.
I think there can be one addition. You said that you can do it any time of the day. I think we can do it any time of the day and night, because there are a lot of people who do it at night when they don't sleep.
Thank you.
One has to remain seated, right, while doing this?
No, you could be walking.
Walking also. All right. So, so Suchitra, I had a couple of questions.
Please.
May I? May I? Okay. The first thing is, you have suggested one must kind of repeat that I completely accept myself, love myself, and forgive myself, right?
Mm.
So, is it in any form suggesting that we are guilty of everything all the time?
Actually speaking, our world is created by us. If you find something in this world is not happening the way you deserve, the way you want it to be, you have to take the onus that knowingly, unknowingly, you are the one who have contributed and created it this way. And that is why when we take the onus, when we are accepting it, we're taking the onus. And if you take the onus and it is something undesirable, then you have to forgive yourself कि अनजाने में हो गया. अनजाने में हमने हमारे लिए ऐसी दुनिया बना ली. And love yourself enough to change it. Does it make sense?
No, are we suggesting that we don't love ourselves enough?
You do, but when you see that जब ये realization होता है कि मैंने खुद अपने पैरों पे कुल्हाड़ी मारी है, तो गुस्सा आता है ना खुद के ऊपर ही कि how can I do this to myself? There are people who feel so guilty कि how can I hurt myself so much? And they cannot then love themselves for that.
So I'm sorry to
So
take more
love
time.
yourself in spite of that is what it is saying. It's not that you're not loving. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, my point here is, see, I don't feel guilty. Okay.
But you have hurt yourself, no?
No, let me just explain, because I don't think I come from a sense of guilt, right? Where I have to forgive. I mean, love, yes, I want to love everybody, right? That's I am okay with that. But the question of forgiving and guilty are linked to each other, right? So I don't come from a space of guilt. I may have made mistakes. I need to correct myself. That realization is there. So for me to repeat that, For me to repeat that I'm sorry about being, to carry the feeling of guilt, somehow I'm not able to accept that. I'm able to accept the fact that I need to be loving. Right?
Ashaji, may I?
Yeah.
To forgive
Shitaji,
myself,
may I?
apologize.
May I give input what she's saying actually? Ashaji,
Yeah,
other side. Sorry. Exactly same like you, that I don't come from the point where I have any guilt or anything or any remorse. But I think how I took, that I will love, I forgive and love. Forgive is also that while loving everyone around us, sometimes we forget to love enough ourselves. Sometimes we put ourselves at the back seat. Like I'm a mother of 2 young kids, so I would always put like my mother, my children, everybody else's need in front, and I would put myself at the end of everything. So it is also because we are also responsible for ourselves. We are also responsible for loving ourselves. We are also responsible for spending time with ourselves, which sometimes we don't do, sometimes we do, but most of the times we don't do. We start finding happiness in everyone's happiness. It's like, if I'm being a good mother, I'm being a good wife, I'm being a good daughter, so I'm being loved by all. But what about you giving love only to you? That's how I see it. That's there is that people do not realize actually when they say sit and meditate, that means just spend some time with yourself. That's it. That's it. So, if you realize, if you see your day to day, every day, how much time you have spent just with yourself, just talking to you about you, not, we all talk to ourselves. The self-talk revolves around everybody else in our life. I am talking about talking to me just about myself. How are you feeling? I felt good, but I need to tell myself this, that, today I did like little sinful thing. I really enjoyed my laddu or my ice cream or whatever, but that's like me talking to myself. That is also a kind of self-love. So for that also, sometimes to correct maybe my children, I yell at them, or if they're making a mistake, I have to correct them. But that fake anger also somewhere leaves its marks. So for that also, that even to do good, we still forgive ourselves. That is also equally important. Otherwise, it remains in your body. I'm working with a German scientist who has created this machine which takes out these hidden vibrations from our body. So that's how I realize that we don't even think that I yelled at my children, I corrected them, although it's like faking it, just to make them realize. Not that I'm holding any grudge or any anger, nothing. But even for those seconds when I did that act, it has created an impact in me. Right. So if I don't take it out, somewhere I'm filling it up.
And what happens, I'll continue further from what Shweta is saying, fill up होता है और इतना जब इकट्ठा हो जाता है कि it starts expressing as some kind of a disturbance in the body, in the mind, and that's how all these psychosomatic diseases. In fact, 99% of the diseases nowadays, the medical field has started beginning to accept are psychosomatic. And it is after a hell lot of neglect of these little things. And that is why these people who have learned it, Sumati, I'm glad you are still here. I think I'll ask you to share. Doesn't matter if you have to go away in between. वो थोड़ा भी, she's able to catch herself now. She came from a space wherein she couldn't believe that she is so much chattering. She thought she was a very quiet person, and everybody would tell her, you talk too much. It took her time to realize that. And today she's able to find out even small little stress that's got created in her, and she works at it every day. She doesn't allow it to accumulate. Sumati, 2 minutes. Can I ask you to share?
Namaste everyone. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, earlier I used to fight with myself only. I don't know. Verbally, I used to chatter. Mentally, I was drained out almost. I used to feel why I'm drained out, why I'm drained out. I'm not doing anything physically to get so much drained. Then every time when I did man's course, she made me point out that how much you are talking. Verbally, I was not talking. Then I realized that mental chattering also is something which is making us drained out. Then I started to observe. Even I worked a lot with. I had one-to-one session also with man. And one more thing, in between also when having lectures from the Yoga Institute, also I have shared with her that I'm listening, but it is not getting registered into my system. Unknowingly, I had blocked that. That is not not my cup of tea. I won't be able to understand. Hearing this thing, I was blocking. This is one example which I would like to say. Then I worked on that also. Hearing, no, if even if I hear what the other person is teaching me or what I can observe it. The grasping power is it will be increased. I did in the tapping, and literally you won't believe now. Even without eye to eye, without eye to eye, this thing also just after, while listening also I learned so much. And main thing, many techniques are there which man will teach you. Just have faith, I will say. I had so many issues with my personal life also, with my in-laws, some extent with my parents also. I am epileptic, but the everything is ruled out. Literally, I'm just waiting for my medicine to be due to COVID. I'm not able to visit my doctor. I just otherwise I'm epileptic since so many years. My in-laws are so comfortable, and even the rapport has built up so much. I was not able to understand my child's feelings, and also I used to dominate over him. I had so much anger, my frustration I used to bombard at him. But after learning one step by step, I attend always. Anyhow, I just attend math sessions, and due to which I got many insights, learning from men. Actually, we have become.
Yeah, nice to
We
hear
still
all that.
ourselves. We should keep our cup of tea empty so that next time we can drink. So always be open to learn. Keep your things
Suchitra, what is the
wide.
science
Thank
behind
you.
this?
Thank you, Sumati. Thank you so much. Yeah,
What is the
Asha, you're
science-
saying something?
The science behind this?
Science behind this, yes. I told you as I discovered this as an EFT technique. EFT is created by Gary Craig from US. He actually learned from Roger Kalana. Roger Kalana used to do seminars on body-mind connection. And Gary Craig, he was a life coach. And he was looking for something that he can give to his clients so that they don't keep returning back after every 6 months, because that was his experience and he was quite disturbed by that. And when he saw this body-mind connection webinar happening with seminar, so used to getting calling webinars now. In those days, it was seminars. He went and attended that and learned that. And he was also an acupressure practitioner, Gary Craig. So he combined his knowledge and also an NLP practitioner. He was an engineer by his academic learning, which he never practiced. But he used his engineering, scientific thinking and created this. Of course, it went through a number of rounds because what he was doing initially was giving different points to different people. But then it was becoming complicated that now you have this issue, now you have that issue, so points change, becomes difficult. And a lot of trial and error, he arrived at these set of points, which have further been modified by later people. But I prefer to use this technique because I find it very effective for everything, smaller and larger issues.
Does it always have to be spoken aloud?
No, you can say it in the mind. I don't even do tapping physically. I do it totally in the mind now.
Okay.
After so many years. So it can be done that way. I help people to go to sleep Chandrasekhar rightly reminded me, there have been times when I have told people, "Man ka tum so jao, sleep in your bed, just keep your earphones in your ears, and imagine." When I'm saying that at this point you have to tap, just imagine you're tapping, and in between you just fall asleep, doesn't matter, leave it, मैं phone off कर दूंगी, तुम्हारा phone off हो जाएगा, have a good sleep. And people have been able to go to sleep well. खाली morning में क्योंकि तुम्हें मालूम नहीं, तुम बीच में सो गए हो, so this last point that we do is a closing point. So just close it.
Chitra.
That's all. And people have, I think Vandana is still there. She will be able to tell you. She at one point came and said, "Suchi, I have slept for 7 hours at a stretch. I don't know after how many years, maybe 20 years.
Hi, Suchitra. This is Gemini.
Yeah, Gemini, please.
I have to confess one thing, that in last 1.5 months, my health has been deteriorating, and there have been many complications due to medication, some wrong medication prescribed. Okay, so let's keep it aside. I always look at things from the emotional point of view, and I believe there has to be some emotional reason for this outcome. I'm not able to pinpoint, but my sleep is disturbed. I was going to ask this question in the end, that does it help sleep? And I would want to help my sleep, but at the same time I would want to understand the disturbance in the sleep, because I have started developing some sort of palpitation, you can say. I get up at 1-2 a.m. in the night, and I'm wide awake. I need to walk, and I need to move around, and maybe by 3:30 or 4 a.m. I feel a little bit less claustrophobic, and then I go to sleep. Now, this used to happen when I gave birth to my son many years back, and it gradually subsided, and it became like non-existent, and it went away completely, and it has come back during the quarantine. So is it emotionally? I'm sure it has got to do some emotional collection, but does this technique help in resolving it from the root?
Yes.
Okay, you answered my question. Thank you.
Yes, Deepali, you wanted to say something?
Suchitra, I just wanted to understand that, this is, of course, one of your psychological self-help programs that you are teaching or training. What else does the course entail? Is it a combination of EFT with yoga, Samkhya yoga, and what are the other aspects of
the philosophical aspect that I use is from Sankhya Yoga, which you can use whatever is your philosophy. If you're following Buddhism, you can use that. But first step is to learn the technique. So just now, today that I have got you together, whichever is the path you want to follow, you can progress on that path with this. You want to follow your passion, you want to follow your business, you want to do up your story, as Gemini will tell us, you want to design your program, you want to finish writing your book. You believe me, I was writing textbooks so many years ago, some 10 years ago, and I was doing middle school, I was asked to do also the primary school, and primary school I have not taught so much, so I wasn't getting the language. What I would do, I would sit with all my books and papers, sit and tap, even though I cannot write. I deeply and completely love, forgive, and accept myself. Round, and then I choose to write smoothly. And I would write for 1.5 hours after doing one tapping. Then again, I would get stuck. Again, I would tap. Again, for 1.5 hours, I could write. Somehow, I have written 3 sets of textbooks and the revisions of those books by doing tapping for the primary school also, which is not really my forte.
Yeah.
And they have been well received.
Yeah, what happens in the tapping?
It works. I couldn't call Krunal today. Krunal is also another STF person. And he says, हाँ, अभी ये मेरा solve हो गया, अगली बार दूसरा problem आएगा तभी आपको call करूँगा. He believes in only taking one-on-one session. He doesn't want to learn it for himself. So मैंने कहा ठीक है यार, जैसे तेरी मर्जी. Gemini को बोलूँगी, the course is going to be different, but what you are saying, a specific issue, for that we can do one-on-one and we'll talk separately on that. Today, what I have to offer to you is this course. what I have been doing, what Jyoti and others were talking, 2 days course, in this kind of time, 2 full days on a webinar may not seem suitable. So I have thought of giving it to you in 2 weekends. So Saturday, Sunday, 3 hours each day, 4 to 7. You can attend the course. We'll do it in January. I will let you know the dates, but it will be Saturday, Sunday, 4 to 7. So those of you who wish to join that, you can. It will be definitely in Jan, mostly 2nd and 3rd week, unless and until something comes up to change it. So 4 to 7, 2nd and 3rd week of Jan, Saturday and Sunday is what we will do. Yeah, yes, Deepali.
I'm sorry, I'm going to be coming back to the same query
Of
that
course,
I put.
please do.
No, there's no problem. We'll hear from you, I'm sure, later. I just want to probably have further more clarity on what will those 2 weekends entail.
Yeah, I have to tell you that.
Yeah, same question for me also, Suchitra. You have to make your offer, but you have to give us the content of what are the outcomes of the program. Yeah,
correct.
Yes. Thank you. Thanks.
So what does this program entail? In these 4 days, first day you will learn this technique, get used to it, in the sense all the nuances, what to say, how much to say, when to say, the steps. So first, and then I'll give you a written thing. You will have access to my YouTube channel, which any case anybody can see and find out more. So that would happen on the day 1. So you will have first got used to the technique. If you heard Shweta, that is what I will make you do the first session. 2-3 बार हम उसको repeat करेंगे using breathing, using anger, which is common issues that one may face. So you will actually experience also somewhat and learn the steps and get used to it. In the second session, we will practice this. The trick lies in making those 2 cycles, as you saw in the technique. What to say in the first cycle, what words to use. I told you Gary Craig was an NLP practitioner also. He has made this statement using NLP background. I deeply and completely love, forgive and accept myself, with a lot of thinking. Where variation is required, like Asha was saying, that she's not needing to forgive herself for anything. Yes, what to do in that case? That happens. I had once one client who refuses to either forgive herself or accept herself. She says, no, I just cannot. I am willing to love myself, so I'll say just that. Very well. And it worked with her. She moved from absolutely deep down low state to her best state. From destructive state, she came to her best state with regular routine practice. So all those variations, depending upon your immediate needs, I will give it to all of you and a little bit more which can come up. So you will have learned how to make the acknowledgement statements in that session. In the next session, you will learn how to make the choice statements. What are the variations available to you? And how to know and recognize what to change from what I may suggest to you. So I will keep making all those suggestions, etc., and help you change that. There are simple choice statements like we did breathing and then improve on breathing, correct? But there are more complicated statements when it comes to what Gemini is saying. If I have to help her, the statements will become a little more complex. Because when you are doing this, you know, there are whatever pent up things are there, they will come to your mind. How to capture that and include that in your acknowledgement statement and how to make appropriate choice. Very often, it happens that we make a choice which we are ourselves not able to handle. So I'll help you to make safe choices and real choices. So that requires an entire session. And on the final day, we will, of course, sum it up and do the whole thing by having to maybe pair up. That pairing up I will do in second, third session also, because till you are really, really comfortable, the whole thing should come to you smoothly so that you can actually experience it and be in the present rather than remembering, trying to think of. So that total ease will be there. On the fourth day, I will tell you what are the other variations, how to do things for physical aspect, any health, how to do things for making statements for your social relationship issues, and anywhere interaction, maybe professional interactions, etc., that you may have to have for that, and how you can change your own environment. I'll tell you certain things which I may not be able to teach you in that class, but at least to tell you how much more it can go. That if you really practice well, you can affect people who are near and dear to you, but far away from you. So you can, because they are your environment. So when you affect yourself, you can affect your own environment. That is the nature of this program. So I will be able to communicate all this knowledge, understanding with actual practice till you become totally at ease in doing it on your own and confident. And then, of course, you can practice, come back to me, join the practice sessions as required. There could be a lot more happening after that. But first is to get grip of this technique. Have I made clear as to what will happen in the 4 sessions? Thank you, Maria. Gemini, Dipali.
Yeah, Suchitra, and by doing, I mean, I'm sorry, but I want to ask this.
Please
ask. When I do all this, how does it impact my life?
How will it impact your life? One is, as I said right at the beginning, and I want to repeat now, thank you for asking, that first and foremost, I'll pick up from what you and Shweta said, कि ये छोटा 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 जो होता रहता है, वो we keep collecting, we don't recognize it. This will help you to become aware of those little things that you are collecting and making whatever is already there a bigger heap, that it now becomes a psychosomatic thing. So you will not collect any more garbage from now on. Having learned this technique, you will own that, take that responsibility. In addition, I will also teach you, when I'm helping you to make those statements on the first day, certain things that have to be done for immediate and certain other things that are below the first layer. Yes? Vandana described it as like onion peel, no? तो ऊपर वाली पील जब निकल जाती है तो नीचे वाली पील भी जो अनलाइकेबल है तो उसको कैसे निकालना है. And sometimes some old memories that keep coming up and hitting you, how to make statements for that. So impending भी जो है उसके लिए कैसे statements बना के आप कैसे उसके ऊपर काम कर सकते हो, I will show that.
Thank you, Suchitra.
Welcome. Mr. Mittar, आपको कुछ पूछना है, कुछ बोलना है, बताइए आपको क्या लग रहा है.
No, I like the session, and I would like to have some details about not exactly the session, but if we are more than one participant, what are the factors and all that.
The session works very well if there are about 10-12 participants at least, up to 15 is comfortable.
Yeah. No, what I meant was something else. Supposing today me and my wife are joining, supposing 3 of the family join, what are the cost implications and stuff like that?
your issues and your wife issues will be independent.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
have
no,
to
no,
be
no.
worked
How
at
much
absolutely
is the,
separately.
yeah, but what is the participant cost is what I meant.
Participant cost. Okay. Have I shared the link?
Yes, you have.
Yeah, I will just share the link with you. Yeah. The cost of the program for each participant is 5,000 rupees.
Okay. Thank you.
I have just shared the link in the chat. So I thought if anybody just try it out, the cost will be seen there.
Yes. I'll check it. Thank you so much. So we'll take your leave. Thank you so much. And
But
we look
so thankful that you joined. I'm really so happy to see you. Really happy. And thank you, Mrs. Victor. I hope you liked it too. How did you find it?
Yeah, it was very nice. It was very nice. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. How nice. And
Thank
we'll
you
connect
so much.
again. Yes?
We'll take your leave.
How's the
today.
school doing?
It's all right. It's doing fine.
Very well. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll connect.
Yeah.
You know, one thing which I have noticed, Chitraji, you know, people when they start thinking that they're not holding anything, you know, within them. So the best way to actually also check is anytime if they get either angry or sad with someone or about something, and if any recollection has happened about that person or you know related to that circumstances, that you know what, you know, that person had done same thing to me number of years ago, or you see, no matter what I do, you know, he or she will say this thing to me. It's a clear indication that you are holding it somewhere deep inside you. You think you have let it go, but somewhere you have deeply, you know, buried it. It's there in you. So that's how, you know, when they say like sometimes I get sad for no reason, or at times I just get irritated, you know, then I can't control my anger. It's not that, you know, you are an angry or a sad person by nature, but it is something which is somewhere hidden inside, which comes out. So that's this technique, you know. I don't know, but in Delhi, this is being introduced at a very big level now, even by doctors to their patients, because it's more than the physical ailments that they're having, the body aches that they're having, or even the constipation, I would say, or, you know, sleep disorder, wherein they're not able to sleep like in one go. They just keep on waking up in between. So I would say the disturbed sleep cycle, it could be very minor to major, but somewhere it's the emotions, you know, which are not balanced, which needs to be relieved. That's it. So that's where the VCT helps actually. I don't know. I hope people realize it soon.
Yeah, Neelu is here. Neelu, do you want to speak? May I ask you to share?
Neelu is trying to shy away from me.
No. Nowadays, she's keeping her videos on very often. Things have changed.
She knows why I'm saying that.
And she's got such lovely decoration done for Christmas.
Christmas?
Oh, yes, it's worth seeing. She's
Really?
so creative.
You didn't show us.
so
I saw
beautiful.
Nina's. And that was cute. That was really nice.
Neelu, please come
I'll send you pictures now, Shweta.
Okay.
No,
Now I
Neelu,
have
you
removed
need
most of
to
it.
talk to me. I will call you now.
Neelu doesn't want to show.
I doesn't want to what?
Neelu is not ready to show the thing creative that she's done. She's
so creative.
Please, you can follow me on Instagram. So it's
I will
always
not follow you.
updated there.
I will unfollow you on Instagram. And I will tell everyone to unfollow you.
Why?
Me too.
Gemini had given some assignments, remember?
I messaged you, Shweta. I messaged you.
You know, Shweta, I'm
In fact, I only started the conversation with you, Shweta.
You started the conversation, but after that you have to take an action. You said,
Okay.
I said, okay,
Neelu,
come in.
Neelu,
Come
start.
in. Now you're starting.
I'm in the limelight now. Oh my God.
Shweta,
Yes.
Shweta, you can pass on the work to me because I'm spending the 31st with Neelu and we are having a night out. So what I'm going to do is I'll put the camera in her face and I'll make her do the video and I'll say Shweta told me to do it.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Okay.
Neelu,
Neelu, you better
let's
dress up because on 31st you're making a video.
Yes,
Neelu,
yes,
you better
sure.
do VCT before that.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
I will
see,
do. Yes.
And just
Neelu,
take that opportunity.
the most because you are holding from this beginning of the year, you're holding too many things inside, huh? You've
Correct.
attended
True.
too many workshops. Now you have attended too many, these sessions with God knows who all. It's time to relieve them, take them out.
I think, Shweta, you
I
have
don't
a
know.
good,
I don't know
you have a
about
good
I don't know
track.
about God knows who all, but I know it's been with me also. So she better buckle up now.
That's why I'm saying God knows who all because I know a couple of them. There must be more of them. It's
Oh my
like
God.
she's
So many
wanting to
people
take
are,
action. She's
so many
wanting to
people are,
take action. It has
yeah.
taken her 1 full year to come on camera. That is
Yes.
one improvement.
Yes.
So that means she's no less than an Arab who takes, when the quickest thing with them is like a couple of months. So that's Neelu. So I'm gonna call her
Okay,
Sheikh.
fine.
now.
Let's have Neelu share her experience with VCT.
Yeah.
All this, what you have posed to her, she is working with VCT and helping herself get out.
Really?
So
Awesome.
if yes, she has. You agree she has moved?
But with this
However,
space, with this
that is
space,
what
I'll
There
grow
have been
old.
challenges because her pace of
Neelu?
practice is also so much. Now that she has experienced it, I'm sure her pace of practice is also going to improve. Am I right, Neelu?
and it has increased, even that I have
There.
shared. Yes. It was, I agree, it was very slow when I started because of whatever reasons that Suchitra knows, obviously. It was in the starting very slow pace, but now it is actually picking up. That also right?
Yes.
So,
My
but
message
yeah,
is coming on its way.
now when it has started, so now it will take up speed.
There it
I
is.
can see a positive change in Neelu. Congratulations. That's a good sign.
Yes.
Thank
From
you
what
Well
you
done,
so
are doing.
Neelu. Well
much.
done.
So you have so
Thank you
many
so
proofs
much.
from STF itself,
Oh
besides
my God,
my
I'm like
yoga
surprised
students.
people are actually following me, like tracking
Yeah,
Shweta. You,
And you
I
know,
just,
and you
People
know,
we
and
care
you
And
know,
she's
about.
girls,
attracted that.
Because it's a
now
tribe, see, if we are supposed to flourish together, when it's
actually,
not just
yes.
me or her, why do we come? Why do I need to attend her workshop? Why do I make her give session to my coaches? She came on my coaching program. She trained them also. So it's about all of us going together and helping each other. That's the meaning of a tribe. That's the
True,
beautiful
true,
thing which we have got from our field,
That's right.
So
That's right.
true,
do it.
true.
So now this tribe will bond still further.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely, absolutely. So we
absolutely.
won't let you
Having to
stop.
have our
If you want
emotions
to,
all balanced,
I'm sorry.
integrate thought, speech, action, and practice VCT every day. So all of us will join hands and learn this. It just takes 4 days to learn it,
Yeah, she.
and then one can
But
practice it.
was Neelu with us in that session when you gave us training for that 1 week or so?
No, I
That-
don't think she joined that session. She
No,
had something
she was
else
not.
at that point.
Neelu
But
says,
she had
yeah.
learned. We did it at Udaipur.
Okay.
She was having difficulty
Yes, yeah.
in sleeping those days. So I said, come. I was alone in my room. So she was there on that other bed. मैंने कहा तू उधर बैठ के कर, सोए कर, मैं कराते जाती हूँ. And she went
It
off to
takes us
sleep.
just 45 to 10 minutes.
So
That's
that was the first time. And then we
That
did
was the
number of
first time.
sessions.
Yeah.
Lovely.
And
Yes, yes.
so many things
Yeah.
came up and solved. And
So Suchitra,
True.
we have a friend Neela Goel. Neela is from
Yeah.
London, and she had come to one of our STF in Jaipur, and somebody fell ill, and she did this tapping thing for him. And at that time, I didn't know it is part of EFT or I just knew it as tapping. And she used to just keep tapping everybody, whoever she, was going through a health issue or something. And that was the time I got introduced to this. And I have never gone into the depth of EFT, but yes, directly, indirectly, I've learned a lot. And this Chupa Rustam Neelu has never encouraged me to learn more about EFT. It's been one-way process. I've been training her, but she's never shared with me.
Like that.
So
She
अभी
is shy
31st
like
को
that.
इसकी ragging होने वाली है.
बिल्कुल, very good.
And I'm going to use
मतलब
the
मेरे
statements that I
ही
accept
घर
and I
पे आके मेरे घर पे आके मेरी रैगिंग होने वाली.
Absolutely, you wait, Neelu. I have a still valid ticket, for Mumbai.
Please
which I
come
had
over,
booked for
please.
ETF.
Most welcome. Please come over,
I
Shweta.
also-
And
No,
Sanjay
if I
ji,
come, what will happen?
Now, Neelu,
please you
Everybody
come.
will stop.
I'll
One
handle
second.
it. You come. You come.
Okay. Chalo, I
You're
think
most
all of us
welcome.
should go. Let Shweta and Neelu continue.
Wait, Neelu, tathastu. I am not there physically, but मेरे रूप में सुचित्रा जी आएंगी आपके पास. She is in Mumbai. Don't train that.
I like
मेरे
that.
रूप में Gemini आएगी. You see, we are
सुचित्रा तो
trying.
वैसे ही उसके रूम
Any
में
of
बैठी
us
हुई
can
है.
represent
अभी
all of us.
अभी नीलू will pray कि जेमिनी का पेट खराब हो जाए, कुछ हो जाए, ये नहीं आए, बस
No,
नहीं आना है.
no. I will not pray for that.
Gemini, I
will
can
not.
guarantee for Neelu,
No.
she is never again going to attract that kind of energy.
Yes.
She will not.
That I will not.
She is
It's just
attracting
like,
positive energy now, and
Yes.
that's what will remain. I can vouch that for her.
Neelu, are you type 1? What's your personality type?
She's type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whenever she wants to change, she changes the type.
Yeah, she cannot be type 1. No, she's not type 1. Pakka.
She is not type
But
1,
Neelu
but she has a
still-
trace of it. She has the
Yes,
worst
of it,
part of one.
If you see,
Yes.
But Neelu is madly creative. Neelu is a mad
do you see
creative
this?
person.
I divide my day like, hour, half an hour, it's like in minutes, everything. What will I do? It's written what time I will spend with my kids. What is the time I will spend by eating.
Too much of one.
Chalo,
But what
Shweta,
I'm-
dosti
That's-
karte. We'll
I'm saying
reverse
is,
the.
I know. Let's connect
helps
again.
me.
And
This helps.
I
That's
will
really super.
share the link.
Micro details you have written.
Hmm.
That's to declutter, because when we feel we don't have time,
Yes.
so when we write it, then we realize how much time we actually
We
can
have.
create.
Yes.
We actually have. So just
Chalo.
it's about
I will.
committing.
There is this
Fine.
link available still on the chat. I can also share it on the
Yeah, I've seen it.
webinar group. Okay.
Suchitra,
Yeah.
I'm coming to meet you one-on-one.
Yeah, of course. We can do
Yeah,
one-on-one
so-
on Zoom also.
Yeah, we'll do a private chat, and we will
We'll
just
talk
finalize
about
a day.
I'll talk about
Yeah.
it to you.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
let me start the new year with EFT.
Oh, that
Yeah,
would be a
but Gemini,
great
you'll
way
be
to begin.
surprised. I was taking the presentations for one of, I was looking for investment in the new venture in healthcare.
Okay.
And somebody came with the full gung-ho about EFT and everything. I was like, and the VCT, I was like, I said, yeah, I also know about Pratipaksha Bhavna. They were like, huh? What is that? I said, that's the next level. They were like, how do you know? I said, you don't know Dr. Suchitra Parekh? I said, she's from Mumbai. She's so famous. She gave us the lessons and all that. They were just looking at my face. They thought, I wouldn't even know about it. So they had come with all the big hoarding and everything. They had done such fancy stuff and, like achieve your emotional freedom. I said like, yeah, I know. It's like EFT.
अब
So
देखो
like,
एक और शब्द दे दूं. This is Pratipaksh Bhavna with Nyas.
oh my God, you'll have to write it. You'll have to remember
Because that
this.
Nyas will,
Suchitra,
people will be flabbergasted. इसलिए मैं use
They
नहीं
ran
करती हूँ.
away. They just ran away. I said, come up with a better proposal. I said, this is such a thing. I said, I know this. You have to. They were opening up, but imagine this is a full-fledged department in hospitals and wellness clinics and resorts.
Yes. In fact, Gary Craig also has a hospital.
I didn't know it was so big. When they approached, then I realized. But I told them, I said, if you anytime you want training,
For
I said,
yoga,
she is the trainer.
in Pratipaksha Bhavna and Yama Niyama, I'm the only one who's using it in this manner. So much so, what you rightly said about the Ayush department, I know the person who is head of the yoga section in the Ayush department. And he holds me in high regard and I hold him in high regard.
You should approach, because they're really, really promoting.
When I did the first workshop on Pratipaksha Bhavna, that all of you had attended and all, I had invited him also.
So what was the difference?
His professor was there, and he told me that, Suchitra, this is absolutely unique. And actually, more than 2 years ago, when I'm a yoga accreditator also. I do inspection for accreditation for them, audit, I mean. So since then, they have been after me, give us some way in which we can measure the people's progress in Yama Niyama. लेकिन उनके पास में टाइम कम होता है, पेशेंस कम होता है कि फॉर देम टू एक्सपीरियंस, ये बोलने से नहीं समझ में आएगा ना, करे बिना ये किसी को नहीं समझ में आएगा,
नहीं आएगा, पर
उतना टाइम वो मेरे को देते नहीं है, लेकिन बोलते बार बार रहते हैं। उनको बोला है मैंने कि आई हैव अ वे। तो मैंने देखा कि अभी टाइम मिला ये लॉकडाउन में, तो आई कंडक्टेड दिस कोर्स। शेखर जो कह रहे थे कि 5 महीने पहले, 6 महीने पहले, 5.5 महीने हो गए। नेक्स्ट वीक विल बी द 6 months completion of the course that he is part of on this Pratipaksha Bhavna.
Lovely.
So with them, I have very clearly proved it. And my book that I have written is also on that only. How you can measure, क्योंकि इसमें जो measure वाला element है, 1 on 10 का जिसे हमने breathing का किया, you can measure it for each and every of this trait that you're working on. And feel the shift.
Suchitra, do you speak Hindi?
I do.
Will you be able to speak everything about your book in Hindi?
Everything.
Okay. So, do you have a profile of yours?
Not in Hindi.
I didn't know, not in Hindi. In English, you have a profile. So, can you WhatsApp me your profile? And Saturday, 7:30 in the evening, would you make time for yourself?
On a Zoom call or anything? Yes.
Zoom. You don't have to treat me to lunch like Neelu. It's okay.
No, मैं actually मेरे parents के साथ में हूँ and I cannot leave them alone and come out. मैं मुश्किल से आधी घंटा निकाल के walk के लिए जाती हूँ.
On Zoom call you are available.
Yes, कर सकती हूँ because
I will speak to you. I'll speak to you. Send me your profile. You send me your profile. Send me your book. Your book is published already?
No, actually, just last minute, a friend of mine has suggested something major wrong in my book, which I have to correct it. So, नहीं तो 25th को I was out to publish it, but
okay, so
now I'm holding it back.
I need somebody who is a published author, and we're looking for something other than self.
Author, definitely.
I have also published.
Sorry.
I have also Gemini. I have also published.
Sanjay has also published his book.
Chitra has book, previous book.
So what we need, what I'm doing is I'm doing a paid promotion with a BITV YouTube channel, but I still have one slot available where I can take in a person for book promotion. Okay. Sure. After that, it's going to become a paid platform. So because this is related to EFT and all, I wanted to, bring out a new, because I've done self-help, I've done empowerment, I've done kids author, I've done a variety of stuff. So I wanted to do a different topic. So Sanjay, send me your book's picture and what your book is about, and I will have to send it across for approval because we have one slot available.